Welcome to Malo Stables, where we explore the story of a lady known as Anya who is into horse keeping. I bet you didn't know we have horse keeping in Kenya. She's going to take us through what it is like to do horse keeping in Kenya. So if it's something that you've always wanted to try, if it's something that fascinates you, if you want to learn, keep it tuned right here. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, share this video, like it, and leave a comment down below because we are planning to do something even bigger. Let's get into it.
Hi, I am Anya Dutoit. I've lived in Kenya for now 20 years. I'm running what is potentially called a riding school, but quite specialized. It's now even more specialized because you can only really ride here if you lease a horse or buy a horse. For the time being, we allow, as long as we have horses that are not bought or leased, people to come in and learn to ride on the ones that we have. I am on the Dressage Committee of Kenya. We have a horse association in Kenya, many people don't know about it, that runs competitions or provide the rule base for our competitions here. We have shows like maybe 6-8 times a year where we compete against each other on these beautiful animals.
Hey guys, as I told you, today we're at Malo Stables and I'm here with Anya. You can see she has her beautiful girl here. Hi Anya, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I love what you're doing here. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so first things first, we'd want to know, when did you come to Kenya?
I arrived in 2003, but very end, and I've been here ever since.
So you're Kenyan,
Mimi
basically.
Kenya.
We're in Kenya. We were talking and I heard you have really nice Swahili.
Ninajaribu kusoma.
Okay, so she's told us that horses, either they're flighting or what else they're eating.
Yeah.
So we just can't stand here while, you know, she'll get bored and she'll look for something else to do. That's why you're seeing we're walking around so much. So we can continue with our
Okay, we'll walk.
as ask
Okay.
questions.
All right.
Yeah. So I want you to tell us about why did you start horse keeping or horse maintenance, and what really motivated you to get into this type of business?
Okay, it's got two sides. First of all, it's my passion. I'm very, very passionate about my horses. I love them. They're part of my family.
Okay.
Each of them have a personality. I guess people that have cows, the Maasai would probably say the same about their cows.
Okay.
So we know them really well. The other reason is essentially that I was working in World Food Program, a UN organization that brings food to emergency zones. An absolutely amazing job that I loved, but I was a mother of 2 children, and often when you go into these areas, it is war zones, and it's risky and your life is at risk. So I often had to consider what I was doing and when I was coming home. Eventually I took the back seat, and when you do that, of course, you don't get that many consultancies because they want you in areas you know, where nobody else wants to go.
But the money is good.
No, yeah, well, it depends what for.
Yeah.
And so I slowly started thinking about how can I support myself when I don't have an income, or how can I support my very expensive sport without burdening the family economy, because horses are expensive no matter where you are in the world.
Absolutely.
So not having an income, having an expensive sport wasn't really conducive for the family economy. So I started taking people for rides in the forest. And developed into what it is today. It's a kind of specialized riding school. It's not like we have big groups of people going around at all, because we actually teach people proper techniques, balance, whatever, and they can only come one-on-one.
Okay, sure. So you've mentioned you do trainings. Are there associations in Kenya or clubs where people do horse riding? Because it's not quite common. Would you like tell the audience?
Yes.
Because I'm sure there's someone who's watching who
Oh.
would love to
Yeah.
explore
Okay,
this type of.
there are several riding schools, but
Yeah.
I would say the problem is that there's no tradition in Kenya for riding, so there's not a huge skill base here.
Okay.
So that's why I teach and train the guys that are working for me.
Okay.
Once a week. They are trained to be trainers,
Okay.
and I teach them to ride, so they can pass on the skills to the people properly to the people that come here.
Okay.
There are riding schools, but we have. I have to be honest, it's blowing my own trumpet, but they don't have the level that I can offer.
Yeah.
But there are lots of places like private stables where you can buy a horse and keep a horse with great teachers. And there are a lot of great teachers in this country, but you have to have your own horse to get that input because they can't provide you with horses.
Okay.
So that's a bit of a dilemma. We have shows, 6, 8, maybe more times a year. We have mini shows as well that people in the horse association, volunteers, organize in under different frames. They have names, these shows.
Oh, sure.
And they happen mainly at the race course where we have a venue now. One has to be, I guess, in our network to know about it. We are not. It gets up on the Facebook page. That's where people can look, or they can request to become a social member of the horse association. But at the Facebook page, the shows are advertised.
What's the name of the Facebook page?
Horsing Around Kenya.
Horsing Around Kenya.
Yeah.
And where did you learn how to ride horses?
Oh, as a child in Denmark. That's where I'm from originally. Yeah.
Okay, and you mentioned to me before we started rolling, she's from Denmark?
Yes, she is. I brought in 3 mares because I was hoping to breed sport horses.
Okay.
The ones we get from the race course are fantastic, but they're a little bit. It's a hyper breed. They're hyper in their temperament. They're made, bred to race and be highly energetic. And this is a warm blood. I mean, it's mixed with a cold blood kind of thing. It's like a cart horse, half race horse, to be simple about it.
Yeah.
But they have a lesser high-powered or high-wired temperament and should be easier to train. And they also have developed and refined over time their movements.
Okay.
So they're naturally good movers. And they are therefore also very expensive in comparison. Although racehorses, of course, if you have a good one, is very expensive for its job.
Okay.
So this one was imported from Denmark as a 2-year-old. So I trained her, isn't it? Yes, I trained you. You're my
The
baby.
chemistry here is so wow. I love it. And what does a typical day look like
Here?
with the horses? Yeah.
Okay, so we get up. I start riding 7:38. That's late compared to
Every
Europe.
day?
Yeah. Apart from weekends when we're busy here.
Okay.
And then I train and school horses depending on my physical ability because I'm often injured because of them.
Okay.
I train at least 3, but sometimes 6 horses. School them, educate them, because you continually have to educate them. Not only maintain their physical fitness, because essentially it's an athlete. We are making athletes, and that's why when you ask about how expensive they are, we spend a lot of our time and we need staff to help us maintain their fitness, amongst a lot of other I hope we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So I would say I ride from 7:30 till 11 every day, school the horses, and then attend to whatever needs to be done here.
Okay.
Then they all go to the field. It's very important for the horse to have freedom, to just be a horse, because it is 500, 600, this one, 600 kilos of potential danger if they don't want to cooperate. And you can't force you can be mean to a horse because they are subservient and they are very good natured, generally speaking. You can bully them, but it's not the way you operate when you work with them. You make them partners and create cooperation through kindness.
Okay. So one thing I know about horses is the maintenance. The maintenance is the major part.
Yes.
When it comes to horses. Do you mind taking us through?
Oh,
because
yes.
you've mentioned a lot of times that it is expensive to maintain horses, and I can see you have a number of them.
Yes.
How do you do it?
No, I don't know. And actually, basically, this place has never made money. It's a place where 14 people have a job that they can send their kids to school. I have never been able to pull anything out because I invest in improvement. If you look there, there's nowhere else in Kenya you can find mirrors in an arena, and that's to see whether you're riding your horse correctly in the correct outline. But let me get back to that. Okay, a horse, first of all, breeding a horse is difficult. They don't take as easily as a cow. We have had semen coming in from Europe. I'm the first in Kenya to import stallion semen officially in Kenya. It's been brought in illegally, but I'm the first one that went through the whole procedure with the ministry to get permission to import stallion semen. I'm the first who has produced an embryo transfer live embryo transfer foal. A friend did it before me, but it had issues and it died. So I'm writing agricultural history here.
Before we even continue, why is the semen imported? We can find local semen?
There's no technique. First of all, you only got thoroughbreds here that are stallions. You don't have warm bloods. What I wanted to create was a sports horse. It's a different vehicle. And secondly, we don't have the technique. We can tap cows and whatever, but we don't have the thing we need for stallions. And the second thing is, once it's taken out, it has to be mixed with some liquid, whatever, to sustain. We don't have exactly what's needed. Nobody knows how to do that here. So even when I had to inseminate them, I had to get a veterinarian up for South Africa, of course, under the knowledge of the veterinarian board, in order to do the job. So it's very expensive to produce a sports horse here.
Extremely expensive.
And I never made money.
Mind blown. I am mind blown. So I just don't know. If you're out there and you want to keep horses, just take. Number one, breeding is very, very, very expensive.
Oh, but this is for this particular horse. You can go to the race course. They have to live breed as a sport, because otherwise everybody would tap the same stallion in the world that's fast. So they have to live breed. So they import stallions, and you can live breed with them. So it is possible to breed horses here, and we have lots of people that keep stallions, but it's not going to be a Mercedes-Benz for show jumping and dressage. It was going to be potentially a Mercedes-Benz for racing, but that's the racing community is looking after.
Okay, breeding is one of them. Another maintenance tip.
Okay, so horses are very sensitive animals compared to cows. I think I've never had a cow. They have to be vaccinated against various stuff. They have to have tick treatment at least monthly. They have to be dewormed 4 times a year on different products. They have to have their feet cut, they grow, otherwise they can't balance with us. They need shoes on that we need to import. If we don't maintain the muscle on them, and or they injure themselves by being ridden wrongly, so they need massage potentially, they need x-rays. Why is it this one is lame at the moment? Why is she that? So what else? Tack. You might get a saddle, and they're expensive. A saddle can cost as much as a horse, definitely here in Kenya. And it's like a shoe. It fits, but it comes here. It fits like a shoe. It comes here, even though you have all the measurements, it might not fit. Then you get pads for it, or you have to get a saddle fitter to fit it up, or it might just plain not fit. Then you have to sell it again, get another one out here. You know what it costs. And they also, even though it might not fit first time, the horse might carry this saddle fine for 6 months, and then suddenly it's created more muscle, and now it starts pinching because it's too big for its own shoes. And that's a constant adjustment that we have to, with equipment. What else was I thinking about? Okay, a cow doesn't need a stable here, and I'll get back to that. We have a disease called African horse sickness. It's indigenous to the continent. Fortunately, has left the continent, but it's only here, and it's lethal for horses. It's zebras and donkeys carriers. They can be silently sick. If a midge comes and bite the donkey, like mosquitoes, like malaria, and then bite my horse, and if she's not vaccinated, she'll 100% die. It's very rare that they pull through if they have not vaccinated. This vaccine is expensive. It comes from 2 places in the world only, because the rest of the world has no interest in this vaccine, and it's not 100%. So that is one of the things that's also expensive, and they have to be vaccinated at least once a year, or maybe biannually, and same with flu vaccine. They need flu vaccines in order to avoid. We haven't had an epidemic of flu, but they get viruses like we do. And rabies, tetanus, and what else? Why else are they expensive? The thing about the African horse sickness, you need a stable. This midge bites in dusk and dawn, so they can be out all day, but you need to take them out of the field because they live in the grass, and they normally bite up to 30 centimeters. That's how high they can fly. But that's not true. If there's a strong wind, they will move even 2 kilometers. And then an infected midge can come here, pee in my grass, and bite my horse, even though I have nothing on my property. And they're so small. the fly nets doesn't work.
Okay, I have a question, and I know very many people who are watching this are asking themselves, if it's too expensive and you're not making anything from it, why are you doing it?
But why do people have pets or get children? It's just inexpensive.
Yeah,
But
children
that's the
are
same thing. That's the
expensive.
same thing. It's very difficult to explain why you're in love with being with animals.
Okay, but these are not pets.
They are. To me, they are. They are.
Okay.
They are. I know each and every horse, what they like, what they don't like, what they fear, what I
Okay.
can expect when I go on an outright. Some doesn't like plastic bags, and others are like they don't care. They
They
walk
don't-
over. Some doesn't like lorries. They jump to the side.
Yeah.
I know they all have their quirks, and I think
Yeah.
it's the beauty of actually connecting to that degree with a four-legged animal where we become one. Because when you sit on them, and I wish I could show you,
Yeah.
we don't have time today, what you can actually do on a horse that's very highly trained. It's like a dance, what you get them to do. And that kind of connection is, I think I worked out, is my meditation. It's where I'm completely in one with the animal, and I don't think about bills or children, school fees or anything like that, because I'm just with the animal.
Yeah, this is a rich people's hobby, sport. Can hear she meditates on horses. Wow.
But that's the only
new.
way I can. It's the only way I can explain it, where I completely disconnect to the world that's reaching for me with tasks all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the most rewarding moment you have with maybe your horses?
It's when we actually, when I work towards something that I wanted to do, and it's finally clicks for me and the horse, and we can do it well.
Okay.
Which is things like a canter pirouette, where the horse literally is turning around and lifting in front and stepping properly and doing, and it's like, you got it, babe, and we got it together. I taught it
just
to
how
you.
she
Yeah,
is,
no, she's lovely.
She's so
I taught it to
lovely.
you, and finally you get it, and finally you're doing it correctly, and
Yeah.
that's a high.
Okay.
It's when the exam goes well, when it's like, "Phew, you did it."
And we saw one lady who was training.
Yeah.
How do people maybe who are out there who'd want to train, how will they, get
Well,
in
it's
contact?
very difficult to learn to ride on your own. I mean,
Okay.
this one, I don't want her to pass the mirror. Bonnie, just push Moto. She's about to go into the ditch. I don't know what she's doing. Just, and that's good. She stayed. Well, of course, you need to have somebody. You can't control the horse yourself unless you learn to ride a little bit. So I suggest that they go somewhere where they can ride on a lunge. It's called. It's a long rope where somebody can control the horse for them whilst they're learning to balance. Until you're balanced, you really shouldn't touch the reins too much, because they wear a piece of metal in their mouth, and people tend to balance
Yeah.
on the reins because they're falling, which is so wrong, because it's only a communication tool.
Okay.
It should never be tight or anything in the mouth.
Okay. So what you're basically telling us, you don't do horse riding training here.
No, I do. Yes. Lots, every day.
Okay.
Oh, he was here for a lesson. But
Yeah.
the thing is, I needed to restructure.
Okay.
So people can come here and half lease or whole lease, mainly whole lease a horse actually. Half lease is only
Okay.
temporary.
Okay.
And then we'll teach them.
Okay.
But you have to take the financial responsibility for the animal, or you can buy one of our horses,
Okay.
and we'll teach you.
Okay.
But in the interim, I still got 9 horses I need to sell. You can come and ride on those.
If you want to buy a horse, come to Malo. Buy a horse. How much do horses?
It depends, and also
really good?
most of the ones that are left, I don't really sell them to anyone. They will have
Okay.
to in some way stay here, or if it's somebody I know that look after them really well. They are like my babies.
Okay. So basically, I want you to tell us in.
Okay, so this one, which is not for sale, would be maybe, because she's so well trained, she's a very well bred horse, and even in Europe she would be $30,000, say, okay?
Okay.
Then I've got one. Let me see. The one that was here. No, that's 15.
Okay.
That one over there is going for 10.
Okay.
Then there's one for 7. It depends, like how much does a car cost? Toyota Corolla,
Different.
Mercedes-Benz, Ferrari, Maserati. It's a bit like that. It's according to their age, their potential, their education, and their breed.
Okay.
But potential is also in the breed or how they move. So they are completely different prices.
Okay.
At the race course, they go for around 500,000 shillings,
Okay.
which I guess is $5,000. but that's untrained and you have to do the work.
So-
Well, you can sit on them. They know how to have a rider, but they know nothing about going on circles and dressage and jumping and whatever. That's your job.
Okay, so what you're trying to tell me is if I buy a horse,
Yeah.
I can bring it to you to train it?
Yeah, that's possible.
Okay, so in a nutshell, just tell us what Malo Stables is all about.
Well, it is about increasing people's interest in the sport and getting more
Okay.
people riding in Kenya.
So it's more about the sport, not just horses for, sometimes when we have public holidays, you go to maybe Uhuru
Yeah, that
Park
happens
and you
here.
find...
That's what happens here as well, but it's just a lot more expensive because
Okay.
we run a decent operation. That's the other thing I didn't say.
Okay.
We also pay people properly. I mean, the lowest paid here is getting the same as a newly educated school teacher.
Can I come work here?
No, but I guess in that right. But they're good. They have high capacity. They work with horses for many years, and they
Yeah.
get bonus according to how many clients they teach. They get free medical, and they get NHS, NSSF, and not all stables have that in place. We are looking after. We are not ready to compromise on health and welfare of our staff and our animals.
Okay.
That's why this
So
place
how
is more
many-
expensive.
How many employees do you
14.
have? 14. Could you introduce us to maybe one of them?
Yeah,
And then
I'll
you
introduce you
could
to
tell us-
Bonnie, who has got a
To
lot more
Bonnie?
experience in horsekeeping in Kenya than me. He worked for
Okay.
many years for King Cliff Stud
Okay.
and for other horse people before, and he's supposedly, according to many Danish farriers that's been here, the best farrier in Kenya.
Okay.
That's a guy that
Wow.
shoes horses, puts shoes on. And
Okay.
he lives here with me because he used to help me with breeding when I was breeding, and he decided to come and live with me. We've been friends for many years, and
Wow.
he is now managing the stables.
So ladies and gentlemen, we are about to meet Bonnie. He's going to be telling us all about horses. I know you've never seen a Kenyan do this. You assume horses are a white person's thing, but Bonnie's gonna tell us and is going to change the narrative for us. So let's meet Bonnie and hear what he has to say. Ladies and gentlemen, when I was with Anya, you had her mention Bonnie a lot of times. So this is Bonnie. Bonnie, salimia watu.
Habari zenu wote. I am Boniface Isindo, the manager of Malo.
Manager of Malo. So Bonnie is going to show us how to maintain a horse. Just the basics. But then subscribe and comment and tell us if you want to see more of this. We want to do a documentary. So kama you want to see more of this, comment, subscribe and share this video. Bonnie, kazi kwako. Tuonyeshe venye huku kunaenda.
Huku kunaenda. In Kiswahili or in...
Feel free, tutaweka subtitles. Mwenye haelewi Kiswahili,
Haelewi.
tutawekea subtitles.
Hapa tunafuka farasi.
Okay.
Ile farasi tunafuka ni ya sports.
Okay.
Sports like watu wanakuja riding, watu wanaweka hapa farasi for leasing, alafu wana ride.
Oh, so hizi farasi zote zenye ziko hapa si zenu?
Most of them ni setu.
Oh.
Mingi ni setu.
So nikiwa na farasi na
Yes.
maybe niko kwa bed sitter,
Yes.
naweza ileta.
Unasaileta hapa, tutawekea wewe, provided you pay livery.
Oh, okay. So we've been told that maintaining a horse is not the same way as maintaining a cow.
Yes.
It's very expensive, it's a
Yes.
lot of work. So we want to see the practicality of it. Are you going to show us that?
I'm going to show you
Okay.
how to feed a horse.
Yes.
You know which food is the horse is getting, how expensive is the food. Kwa sababu katika hii, kitu ya kwanza, farasi inataka chakula.
So horses don't eat grass.
Farasi inakula nyasi. Farasi inakula nyasi,
Yeah.
na lakini si nyasi pekee. Tuko na green grass, tuko na hay, tuko na chumvi, mineral
okay.
salt, tuko na vitamins.
Yes.
Iko vitu mingi ya kupea farasi ndio ionekane vile ilivyo.
Oh.
You can see how they are smart.
Oh, very smart.
Kwa
Very
sababu
smart.
tunaangalia kila kitu ambapo farasi na need, we
Yes.
give them. And there are a lot.
Okay.
We are going to show you.
Okay, so let's get into the practicality of it.
Hii ni protector.
Okay.
Ndio nisikatwe na msumari.
Na msumari. Okay.
So if you are a farrier, lazima ufae hii vitu
Okay. So this is basically for safety.
for safety.
Okay.
These are for safety.
Okay.
And they're very expensive.
I can see this is leather,
Yes, it's pure leather.
pure leather.
You can buy one for 25,000 or 30,000.
Ni watu mko na pesa. Mnatoa wapi pesa?
Kwa nini?
Okay, okay. But they're very long lasting.
Yes, they're very long lasting.
Okay.
Like this one, it can take you 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, after wearing this, I need to come on my tools.
Okay.
I have a hammer. Yeah, I have a nibber.
Oh, ini nail cutter?
Yes.
Kama nail cutter?
This is like nail cutter.
Okay. Okay.
This is like a nail cutter. This cleaner, it cleans the nails. This is a rasp. But
This is like a file.
this is like a file.
Okay.
So these are the tools that I'm using to shear horse.
Okay.
I'll show you.
Ni
when I get the
kama
horse.
manicure.
Ni kama
Ni
manicure.
pedicure ama ni mani?
This is pedicure.
Hizo, okay.
Yeah, it is same.
Okay.
So tuende kwa farasi.
Sawa.
Hii ndio farasi ambayo ndaweka viatu leo. Inaitwa Agi. It's a very nice horse. It's a retired polo bunny. He used to play polo. Even right now it can play, but we are using it as a show horse for now. So I'm going to show him. These are the shoes. You can look at it. When it is new, it looks like this. It's a new shoe for a horse.
Okay, Boni, hebu nikuulize, these shoes, venye unasema it's a new shoe,
Yeah.
and I can see they are metallic. Do they wear out? Huwa inaisha? Ama...
Yes, I'm coming there.
Oh, okay.
I'm coming there.
Okay,
When they are new, they look like this.
okay.
This new shoe for a horse.
And does it have to be a certain type of material?
This material, we have different material,
Okay.
but we doesn't have any of this material here in Kenya.
Okay.
We are ordering them from South Africa
Okay.
or England, Europe countries. We can't get them here. You can't get this material here in Kenya.
Okay.
We don't make shoes in Kenya.
Okay.
You need to order it.
Okay.
Okay? So this is new.
Okay.
You can see here, this one, it has been already used, and I'm going to use to reuse shoe, same shoe. Iko karibu kuisha.
Okay. And easy shoes, is it one size fits all?
No, it is not one size fit all. It is like a human.
Okay. Okay.
You have your number, she has a number, he has a number.
Okay.
Same as the horses.
Okay.
Everyone has got
Their number, a
the
different
number,
size.
a different size.
Okay. Sawa, tuonyeshe.
Sawa. Tuendelee. Nasikia jungu.
Unajua je?
Nasikia uchungu. Najua. Niko na feeling on my hand. Bila msumari inaenda. Hii ni one of the dawa ambapo tunazipea. Hii ni kuongeza vitamins kwa mwili. Same as this one. Hii ni fly sprays. The kid carrots. Unapaka tuko na carrots they have to.
Aya, so hapa kwenye tuko, mimi kama Mkenya wa kawaida najua hizi ni haystacks.
Yes.
So importance of hay from the other food ni?
Important yeah, hay from the other food. You can see it is dry.
Okay.
And the horse, it doesn't need always green grass. It must get green grass and sometimes in the night, dry grass.
Okay.
That's why we call it hay.
Yes.
And then they keep eating even in the night. So you must give him or give her something dry so that it can
Okay.
continue eating.
Okay.
That's why we give them hay.
That's why we give them hay. Okay, now where do you get all this hay? Do you plant it? Do you buy it?
Here at Malo, we are buying it.
Okay.
Obviously, I buy my hay from Narok.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, sawa
We
sawa.
get hay from
That
Narok.
is interesting. So guys, that's it with Bonnie. Na tumemwambia if you want to see a whole feature about horses, subscribe hapo kwa YouTube channel yetu, comment and share this video. We will reply and we will do whatever you want us to do. Asante sana Bonnie. Tunashukuru.
Karibu sana.
'Cause I gave you my whole life.
So this is
And it's like you gave me nothing. And you
So this is
leave me
Blixen.
lonely,
Such a nice horse.
lonely. Hey,
Sasa lazima unafikia mbali kidogo ndio akuone, ndio unamkaribia. Lakini ukimtokea tu kighafla tu hivyo,
Anatuweka mateki.
si rahisi sana kufunga.
Na mtu akigongo
Anaweza kukuvunja.
Even know what a spur is, maybe.
no.
Oh,
is,
exactly.
it that?
It's the thing you tie on here that has
Oh.
a spike going into the horse. I'll show you. That's a spur. We can take a picture of that as well. I'll explain.
okay.
And it looks like we're kicking the horses to make holes in their sides to punish them. And many people think that's what it is, but it's not.
I need to learn this horse language before they start warming up. What's the whole importance of that?
As we talk about the horses in the wild, they move all the time whilst they're grazing or when they're fleeing, and that means they maintain joint fluid in their joints all the time.
Yeah.
We stable our horses overnight,
Okay.
and we start riding them in the morning. That means that's what we learned with research. The joint fluid disappears out of the joints because they're not moving around.
Okay.
And before you start riding them properly,
Yeah.
you need to make sure that fluid has re-established itself to cushion the joint.
Okay.
Otherwise, it will be bone on bone, and you'll destroy your horse.
Oh, okay. So we can go to the arena and
Yes.
see what goes on
Yes,
there.
yeah.
Okay, let's go.
That's good, Henry.
Manze.
Don't get him too deep. Because it's for the shot. It's okay, long and low to begin with, I know, but right now, we're doing, that's perfect.
here lonely, here lonely.
Anya, I see you holding some, equipment.
Yes.
What are these for and what do they do?
Okay, so this is what we talk about the horses, the aids we use in order to talk to the horse. That's mainly and primarily your body weight,
Okay.
your hands, and your seat. I mean, the balance that you use to control the horse. But
Okay.
we also use extra loudspeakers when they don't understand. As I demonstrated before, if I sit on you and ride,
Yeah.
my legs would be naturally moving a little bit.
Yeah.
If I now start putting a bit more pressure on this side, it may be not so visible to the horse.
Yeah.
It's like, do I need? And that means I want you to move that way.
Okay.
So the spur can do poof, and it's a lot clearer.
Okay.
Lots of people think that we use this to punish the horse.
punish the
It's
horse.
just a loudspeaker, and we use them very gently. If you look at the ends of them, they are not blunt.
Okay.
They are not in any way pointy,
Yeah.
and we're not poking the horse.
Okay.
Then this one looks like we're using it for punishing the horse. Can you hold this for me, please?
Yeah, sure.
Actually, what is really important, when you look at these horses here,
Yeah.
they're working over their back, we talk about. It's because a horse, and I'll demonstrate with taking this up, a horse is not naturally made to carry us. So in order to be strong enough to carry us, we
Yeah.
need to activate the back muscles so it doesn't run around hollow like this, but
Okay.
it brings it back up like that and
Okay.
carry us with the muscles,
Okay.
not this hanging on the spine.
Okay.
And explaining that to the horse, it's driving it forward, and we stop it a little bit in front in order for the back. It's like doing this. I drive my horse forward, but I hold a little bit, so the
Oh.
spine comes up.
Okay.
But sometimes it doesn't understand it. We use it to drive the quarters under.
Okay.
So we tap it, and the horse goes, oof,
Oh.
and now we're in the right shape. I try with my
okay.
legs again, it doesn't really listen. Tap, poof, bum comes under. And it's a long training process. Eventually, it will understand when I drive my legs, that's what it needs to do. Step under with the hind legs.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought this was for,
No.
you know, if it's not moving fast enough, you just
No,
whip
no.
it. You know how we used to sing the donkeys?
It's a training tool. We also use it when we teach them to go backwards.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
teach them to go backwards, tapping on the shoulder. Yeah, also when sometimes if they don't react to a leg wanting to turn the shoulders, you can use it to tap. It's just
Okay.
a loudspeaker. Tap, tap, tap.
Okay.
Oh, it moves away from it because it's irritating or whatever. And you praise the horse, good. And you
Oh.
try again, and eventually you don't have to use it. You just use your legs and it moves, and it's like, good.
So they understand communication.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Otherwise we couldn't train them.
Okay, interesting.
But we need to teach them our language. They don't naturally know the pressure. Well, they would use no pressure.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't know that when I tighten my legs to make it go forward, we kick them or we tighten the legs.
Okay.
They wouldn't know what that
Wouldn't
means.
know.
So you get on them, you tighten the legs, and the horse is like, what? It either tries to buck you off because it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable, or it takes one step and it's like, good boy, good boy. Oh, squeeze again, another step, good boy. Ah, okay, I'll walk then when she squeezes her legs.
Okay.
So that's how it is.
I know you didn't know that about horses, so let us see practically what she just explained to us.
Chestnut, the chestnut is a bit on the forehand. That means it puts more weight in front and the ankle is this way instead of that way. Where if you look at the other two, especially the biggest one of them, he really tracks his hind leg under and he comes up this way in his body shape. His shoulders come up. His shoulders, he's more like a motorboat. Where the other one is a motorboat, the chestnut is more on her forehand. He needs to drive the quarters. Quarters is the hind legs, further under to get her to lift in the shoulders. Get her together. She's sitting again. Yeah, now she gave. Now she gave. And then you can do your 15-meter circle without her sitting against your hand. Doing it again. Immediately you feel that pull. You react. You correct it. And you do it. Yes. Immediately. Maintain it. Already. Don't. You sort it out quickly. As soon as you feel that pull. As soon as you feel that pull until she's given. Until she's given. Yes. Gary, as soon as you feel that little bit of pull in your finger pressure, but you're wiggling to tell them let go, don't sit against it, let go, but you don't wiggle and make the rein softer. That looks good. Looking good. It's a bit bigger than 10. It was like 11, 12. Find another place to do it. Yeah, it's just because now you're going to be in the way of the others. So that was too big. Again, find another place. The rest of you also find a...
And that's a wrap for today's episode. I hope you learned something about the horses. If it's something that fascinates you, feel free to give a visit to Malo Stables. You'll meet Anya, you'll meet Boniface, and you'll meet everybody else. They're very friendly and very supportive. They're going to teach you each and everything you want to know about horses. By the way, if you want to be featured on Urban TV, whether it's a business, whether it's a venture that you'd want us to know about, feel free to DM us on our Instagram page at UrbanTVKE, or you could write us an email on our email address, urbantvke@gmail.com. That's it for today's episode. I've been your lovely host, Clara Ndinda. See you on the next one. Bye.